Yo, what's up, everyone? We got Hancock with us today. Today, we're going to be going over the market April 14th, what's kind of been going on in early April, and leading us into the end of the month. What are some coins to be looking out for? And yeah, some DGen plays as well. So, what's up, Hancock?
How's it going?
Nice. So we'll just jump in. Hancock's kind of reviewing some calls from March that I followed a few of them and they were all really on point. So if you want to walk us through some of those, that could be a great place to start.
Yeah. So real quick, seller was called right here. Seller I called at, as you can see right there. I think it's 4 cents roughly,
Nice. And what was the
and
date on that?
this was called. Some of these were like the next day they blew up.
Nice.
Um, this one right here, March 27th or 26th, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 26th. So right after that call, basically we come down here. Here's what seller did right there. So seller basically made its move. I think I caught it right in here on this retrace, and it basically ran all the way up. And these were my TPs right here. So not huge profits on seller, but it did make decent profits. I think it was like a 25-30% move. And then there was a BNB call, missed call. Uh, where's the rest here? So right here, this is my rad call. Went all the way up to $10.50. TP was sitting around, I believe, $9. TP means take profit, just FYI. Here's rad when I called it 537. So
Nice.
decent 90% gain right there.
Yep.
Um, and then that's Ethereum BTC comparison. Where is the rest? I had the other ones on here. So SPI, I think I called this at 8 something. And you guys, if you're recording it, it'll you just go back on the recording and look because I don't want to keep running back and forth. But I caught around $8 or something. Basically spiked all the way up to like $14. My TP was a little high on this one, but I did go ahead and cut out here because I kind of figured it was going to start to reverse here. So I cut out probably I think around $14 on this one.
Nice.
Um, so I provided TPs for people to understand where they need to take profits, right? On these same calls.
Yeah, that's
And then these
huge
are
because as some of these start to run up, a lot of ego gets in the way, and you're like, oh, I can keep running this up. But having those take profit marks really help you stay safe and actually walk away with something in the positive.
exactly because like look at Rad for instance here, right?
Hmm.
So Rad ran all the way up, like I said, 9 something on my TP. Look at the TP, almost perfect on this one.
Yeah, that's
And that
well
was
done.
based off of support right here, right? So you can see the support right in there. So you can tell they're gonna run up, they're gonna test support, and then they're gonna run back. And
That's
look
like
how
the
much you would have
perfect
lost.
example right there, to be honest. Like that's like textbook.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what a lot of people they don't get this, right?
Hmm.
You miss this move, you miss, almost 90% gain.
Hmm.
And now you're gonna lose all that back to the market. And they're like, just hodl. If I would hodl that, I've made nothing. They come all
Yeah.
the way back to my original price.
Yeah, I think one thing that's super helpful when you're trading like this is to set a position for your take profit. That way you don't have, any regret or anything like that. You're strategically investing and not just hopefully to ride it up. You make some money and you're like, oh, I can make more. And greed comes into play. So I really like that call right here. That's perfect.
Yeah, this one was probably one of my better ones. My really good one was Edgeware. I think it's in here somewhere. So Water did decent. Like I wanted more out of Water to be honest with you, but it didn't quite get there, and I think it will eventually.
Hmm.
Um, so I basically, obviously had my TPs on Seller, but look what Seller did after that.
Yeah,
It ran
that's,
even higher.
but I mean, at least you're still in the profit.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like these are really good calls. Rari was a really good one. So I called Rari around $7. I think it was $6 or $7. Rari ran all the way up to almost $13 and like 50 cents. So it almost 2x. Um, so basically, this one right here was a really good profit take. I think 90 to 95%. Super, I called it like, as you guys saw, 60 something cents. Super ran up to almost 89 cents. My TP I think was 85 for this one.
Nice.
So
And these were all super short time frames with that recent run, yeah?
like 3 days,
There you
like two
go.
three
I
day
mean,
turnarounds.
that's the realistic way people have to start approaching this is like a 2x is so significant in the traditional market, and you don't always have to go for these 10x's and pull profits to sustainably stay around. So, yeah, that's I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, so like yeah, if you go for like a 2 or 3x or a 5x or a 10x, rather than knowing where your resistances are, like the thing is like you should just accept resistance, right? Like my TP here was 155. I got out at 155. Did it run past it? Yes. But do I expect it? What did they do? They came all the way back.
Yeah, that's got to
And
feel good.
I called it again here. I was like, take it here. And then so they took it here. And then where was it? Right here's where I called it. And then right here's where it went up again and
Hmm.
hit my TP right there, 128. And now it's already pulled back way far. And I think they're going to come all the way back to here. But they're working their way to go high, right? I do expect them to come up for this liquidity up here. And this is a volume profile just for those who don't know, but this doesn't really indicate, it does indicate liquidity, but it doesn't indicate liquidity. I'll explain it in a minute. But right here is Phantom. So this is the call I'm looking at right now. So Phantom being under the POC, the point of control, I think that it's very undervalued in a sense. So with it being undervalued, you can see right here it's starting to step up on the RSI. So with it starting to step up on the RSI and starting to step up on the chart, and we're at the bottom of range here. I think I called it like $1.22. I'm expecting it to make a move up to at least this first TP right here around $1.47 or something, $1.48. Um, and then potentially go all the way for this to 11, right? There's a lot of price action right in here that I think they'll come back up to try and hit that liquidity before dropping back down again. And that's the way the market's been, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm a
been
little bit
quick.
under on this call, but not a big deal. I want to find that Edgeware call real quick because that one was really good. Let me see. That was one of my best ones so far. So Edgeware, when I called it, it basically did like almost a 4 or 5x through directly after the call. There's seller.
And Edgeware is a legit project. It's not some degen play.
Yeah, no, these are legit products. Seller and Edgeware are basically the same stuff. It's just Edgeware is dot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. Seller is ETH. So I know I had it on here. Maybe I didn't post it on here. But right here's my rag call. Look at this rag call. 709. Went all the way up to like almost $14, basically.
Let's go.
Blew through two TPs. Um, but yeah, I don't know
So
if I
as
put
we're
April on
reflecting
here.
on the calls for April, this was like mid April to or sorry, this is March, late
Yeah,
March
this is March.
into into early April.
Yeah.
Seeing what happened there, and the profit zone was really called well, and kind of seeing what's happening with that pump, and now where we are now. Where what are the calls that you're looking at, and kind of just rewinding and kind of walking
So
through some new ones and where you think they're going with some take profit.
first, what we'll do is we'll look at like what I saw before I made moves, and then we'll go into like where the market's at, where it's going.
Love it.
So basically, what I saw when I started making moves is we had this big fall down, right? We had this big fall down over here. And then for that fall down, we had that bounced higher. Then this is all volatility, chop, right? You don't want to enter on chop. So the activity was in here. When the activity changed from being in here, was right here. You see right here? You see activity in here at all in this zone? None, right? These are just straight throughs. So once I started seeing activity there, right here, I noticed they were building levels, right?
And when you
So
say they, you're talking about like
the
whales
market
and
maker, the
yeah,
person of
yeah, yeah.
interest, right? The people that are manipulating the price slash selling and buying, playing on people's emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we ran up, and this right here was our zone, right? And what do you notice here in this zone? Well, look at this activity. Then look at this activity, right? And everything other than that is above this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is showing us essentially that they're looking to go higher, right? They're looking to grab liquidity a little bit higher. So they're reaching up, falling over, reaching up, and they just keep on hitting the same zone over and over and over again, right? They also keep on hitting this same zone right here
Yep. So that's your
over
take
and over and
profit
over
zone.
again. Yeah, this is your take profit on the Bitcoin move. But while Bitcoin was doing this volatility move, nothing was going to make you money, right? So I sat on my hands in these scenarios because this right here is what I like to call the scalper's paradise, right? So that's a scalper's paradise. That means you're looking for long swings in short periods of time, openings and closings, right? And then that's it. That you close out, you're done for the day. I like to swing trade personally. So my swing trades are a little bit different. And I look for opportunity. I look for a market that's building to go long before I make an attempt to move to go long on anything else. So once I saw the buildup right in here, I noticed that the market was looking to find a new zone. Because if we're building here and not coming back down to this liquidity, right, then we're basically looking to make a big move up. So that essentially looks like this. So obviously we have our chop, and then we had our build up, our fall back, and then boom. And at this point, right in here, I started making calls on this candle right here as it was dropping. So this is where I started making calls because I noticed the slowdown,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we got all the price action here. There's never been any price action in here really in this zone. So I knew that they were going to make a move off of it. So once they made this move and ran, that's where alts ran with it.
Yep.
And then alts took off. And then up here, I called the top, right? And I can try and find the chat for it. But I basically stated, hey, this is the top. This is a high. This is a low high. We're going to come back down. What do you notice right here in this lower zone right here?
Some more activity.
Do you notice how see how these candles are just push throughs of the zone? There's no liquidity in this zone, right? The
Mm.
liquidity is in this zone. The consolidation is here. Where are we at?
Consolidation.
We're in consolidation. Exactly. And notice how that consolidation is building long? That's what a lot of people are missing right now. They're looking at the market and they're freaking out, but they don't realize the consolidation is building long. That's what
Yeah,
consolidation
that's
is.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, building long is a positive thing. It's good price action. Now, how the VP kind of indicates this, and I don't even need the VP to see this. I use the VP so other people can see what I'm seeing, right? And I'll show you guys kind of how to use the VP, but um, it's just so people can understand like where price is. The VP is rating only so far back. It's not coming all the way really back to here, right? It's more coming maybe like in the last like 3 months to maybe a year. I forget. I don't know the exact number of days, but I can try and figure it out later. But it's looking for this. This is the key thing. It's looking for price action in a specific zone. And that's what makes that zone the biggest, right? When it sticks out like this, that's because this zone has the most price action out of all of this, lower or higher. So if this has the most price action, what does that tell you? Well, that tells you price can swing below or it can swing above, but it's going to try and do what around the price action? It's going to try and stay around it, right? Now, this can move, right? As activity builds lower, this VP can, or this POC can move point of control, but for the most part, is the point of control over or under our current move? It's over, right? So since it's over, I do expect them currently in the current market to build short for right now. And you're probably like, what do you mean build short? Well, if you look at it, they're going to come in and they're going to do a probably declined wedge. I'm thinking so they're going to make a move like this. They're going to make it look bearish. They're going to start building down, and then as they're if they're building shorts, which direction would they go if they're building
Mm,
short?
down.
Well, they'd be looking to go long, right?
So where do
If
you
they
think
build
that
long,
what do you think
they
that
look to go
floor
short.
price is? That floor price for to trigger kind of starting to move up.
So it's not really a floor price versus I think the lowest Bitcoin's going to go is probably that 38 or 39.5, right?
Hmm.
39.5 has been a key zone for me,
Yep.
and I've been calling this for a while. And I'll show you guys real quick because I'm going to actually rewind this back to my original layout because I added this consolidation for other people to see.
Hmm.
Oh, I think it just froze. There we go. All right, so this is my original layout right here. And you can see my 39.5 zone. I didn't just draw this. This is something that's been here. And I've been posting this also just so people can verify real quick on my Twitter. So this is something that's been here,
Yeah,
right?
and if you're not
April
already,
7th.
follow Hancock on Twitter. This is where a lot of these calls are. There'll be a link in the description, but he is on this every day, so there it is. All this
This
type of
this
stuff you get there.
yeah. This is my projected direction for right now, right? Um, and fully expected 39.5, as you can see right here. Bounced right on it, ran, and I'm expecting them to try and make a move up. Now, here's the trick. I think that they're going to make an M formation here. So I'll show you what that looks like. I think they're going to build short a little bit, but they're going to make an M formation to try and show directions. They're going to do like this. You see the M?
Hmm.
And then they're going to turn that into a W. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow them to grab all the liquidity right up here. Now, does that mean 100K BTC? Probably not. I think the highest we go, if we go high, will probably be about 56K right here.
Yeah,
Um, could we go a little bit higher? Sure, but I think that this is the safest bet. I think if we touch 50, people should really start dialing out and take their profits. Yeah, we can go higher, but anything about beyond this, there's still a lot of downside that we can do too.
100%.
So right here, if we look at this move, right, this is an atypical Wyckoff move. So they're going to make this long to this W, right, and that's where I think they're going to come in and M here, and then they're going to A, B, C to the downside, right, and then at that point, that should bring it all the way back down to about 40K, and this is how they will shake everybody out of the market. That's what I think the next move are. Okay, again, this is thinking way out, and I don't think that it's smart to think way out, but this is, so far things work out in the way that I think of them. So so far it's worked out in my favor. Will it always work out in my favor? Not always. So definitely something to keep an eye on for. But if you start to see the formation play out, then you know what they're gonna do. Right. That's kind of where I'm going with it.
Hmm.
So I'm expecting a Wyckoff move here. So I'm expecting them to try and run up M formation here, reject the M, right? Because the M technically should come all the way down, break the neck here, and come all the way down to here. Reject the M, run it up one last time, FOMO people in, double top, and then run down at that point.
Yeah,
So, and
I see
that
the
that
logic there.
that would give them ample time and activity to grab all the money from the people that are up here, expecting more upside, and it would give them ample time to come back down and grab all the money that they left down here
Hmm. So
and
what
kill all the
what
short.
what is a action item and a trigger that you see to trigger that next run up? Like a bit more consolidation or
Yes, consolidation. So I think like probably for another week we'll see sideways action for Bitcoin. And then once we kind of consolidate for a little while, as you can see, like if you look at these periods of consolidation, because this is the key thing that we should look at too. Over here, consolidation lasted about 11 days, 12 days, right?
Okay.
And then over here, consolidation lasted about, we'll say, all the way across there 9 days. And then I'm not even going to really call this part of the move. So I'm going to just say in between this whole lower part, about 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I'd say we can expect at least probably a week or two of sideways action from here because this was a big move,
Yep.
right? A possible pump into a short into a bigger move, right? So if they do try to break out from here, I would expect it to be something like this, where they make a move up, reject, scare everybody again, and then take off again. So
So
that's what I'm expecting.
what's the break point for that you see that confirms the run up? Because as we consolidate, they'll be small. They'll be like 2% up, 2% down. We'll be consolidating, but at what
Once they
point do you
find
confirm
support, good. Sorry.
uh before that run up there? Like, what is a signal of like that you look for that confirms okay, we're running up, now's a buy, so you don't miss
I'll
that first run.
Yeah, I'll give you two scenarios. So my expectations would be that they make a move, find support higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that support higher would have to be on the POC, which is sitting at around $42,000. As soon as we break $42,000, I would look for a push probably all the way up to 44 and a pullback into 42.
Perfect. That answers
On
my
that,
question. 42. And then do you look at volume and other things like that?
then I'll
Um,
look for this right here. So I'll look for this trickle move where they take a small move like this.
mm-hmm. Mm,
And then once they take a small move like this, right?
boom. Take off.
Then it's takeoff from there.
So yeah, that's what we're looking at. I could definitely see that playing out because they've been liquidating like this. If you look, all of like look at all of that with the steady, like the volume overall is increasing. Like the price is confirming upwards. Like so.
Well, plus look at the value of Bitcoin right now. Where's Bitcoin's strength on a daily? Is it on the top or on the bottom? On the bottom.
Yep.
Like for them to try and make a move from here to the upside makes plenty of sense. Will they reject and come back down lower? Sure, but I think that'll be following the Wyckoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we'll start working our way down to the bottom. But in addition to that, we'll also be kind of finished our move, right? So, and this Wyckoff could play out sooner. So don't quote timelines. But you can see right here, my topping here, it pretty much happens, I think, in May, right? Wherever I don't know the exact date of the FOMC meeting, but I'm expecting us to top around the FOMC and then come down and then top again, probably, and then come down and start that ABC pattern to the downside where they start trying to take out the money that they just gained from everybody, based on the FOMC being the bad news that everybody needs to drop
Yep.
their bags.
Dude, this has
So,
been very precise, helpful stuff. I guess Damien jumped in. I think it'd be fun to go into some macro talk because we've been very down to like, weeks here. But before we switch, what are some of the tokens that you see um, you know, doing this steady. We can do like high risk later, but some of those safer altcoins that you're calling.
one that I was looking at this morning is called NIM. So, not super high risk, not in KuCoin, so easily accessible. Or maybe it's XE something was X. One of these X ones. Or maybe I have it on. That's what I'm watching too. Is
Oh,
crash
there we
hard.
go.
NIM right
Nim.
there. XM. So that's what I was watching earlier. I think NIM will take off. I have XEM on here. I think I do. Yeah, right here. All right. So NIM had a bit of a pullback, but as you can see right here with NIM, we got decent build up for strength. So strength's definitely building. I'm gonna check. But strength's definitely building for NIM. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
expecting NIM to follow the trend. and make a move to the upside, right? NIM breaks out of this 50 again, I think it's going like way up. So if NIM makes a move way up, uh, I'm expecting price action to come up to this first TP right here around 12 cents, which will be a decent move from where it's at right now. So roughly 27%. And then if it can make a move there, there's also good potential. It may on this move go higher, right? So it may even come all the way up here to like 14 cents. So, and then 17 is kind of my cutoff for NIM because that's where the last bit of price activity is, right? Right in here. But I would not be taking heavy bets on anything higher than 12 to 14 cents.
Yeah,
So,
maybe just pull your initial investment out at 12, ride it to
yeah,
14 if you're complete degen, ride it to
yep,
16, 17.
exactly. So like this right here, and if it gets to 14, that's almost 50% gain right there.
And that's what we're
So,
really after. Like, if you're looking to sustain and not always going for that 10, 20, like, that just will lead you to a dark place sometimes when you're just always looking for coins that are just going to moon because,
chasing X is a bad way to do it in a bear market. I,
yeah.
I I still feel we're in a bear market. There's just money to be made, right? There's still
Hmm.
price action there. So, um, are we at the bottom? Nobody knows. Are we nearing a breakout? I think we're close to that. Like I said, I think another week we'll probably see that move, and then I think the FOMC will be their excuse to drop the market. We'll see
Nice.
the move to the upside, and then FOMC will be
And then
dropping
you
the
were
market.
also looking at Phantom, you said?
Yeah, so Phantom's another one. Phantom looks really good, man. I'm not super degen on Phantom. Never really got into Phantom, but the chart looks good. So if you look here at Phantom, Phantom's doing the same thing. It's building up, building up. It's holding its trend. So I'm expecting that they're going to come back for all this liquidity, man. And like if Phantom, and I think it will come back to this POC. And if it does, these are my TPs either way. But if it does come out to that POC, where Phantom's at right now, that's an 84% gain right there.
That's a play. That's something to look out for. I'm probably going to watch that.
That's where the action's at. See the action right there? That's
Hmm.
where all the action is in
Yeah, this
price.
one has that textbook look to it too.
Yeah, it's perfect. Look, it's got a double bounce right here on the bottom, and it could come up and do a triple bounce, right?
Hmm.
So, but what I'm thinking here is I'm thinking a W. So I'm thinking like this and like that. So if it's a W though, this thing's gonna get wrecked back down to the downside.
Yeah.
So, or it could even recover right about here, right on that first TP
And
right
then
here.
let's walk through those TPs one more time really quick so people can understand where those numbers came from because when you just buy a coin without a TP in mind on a trade, your emotions are just going to take you for a ride. So having some of these set before your purchase is definitely how to do it.
Yeah, so I would definitely take a take profit on whatever website I'm using. A lot of these are KuCoin coins or website, main centralized exchange coins. So you can set a take profit on all these. But essentially, so the TP is your take profit. So what you're looking for is support and resistance. Obviously, right here, heavy resistance, right? Heavy resistance right there. And then that's basically it. Look, heavy resistance. So if we got heavy resistance there, then this is probably a good take profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what do we see here? Good support, right?
Yep.
We see heavy resistance. We see heavy resistance right in here. So with that right there, that's telling me, hey, this is a good spot to take profit right there. And then what do we see up here around the POC, the point of control? Well, the point of control is where all the activity is, right? The point of control isn't really a support and resistance as much as it's where price likes to be.
Mm-hmm.
Price likes to be around the point of control. That means the heaviest amount of activity is where price typically likes to come back to.
Cool. So we got NEM, Phantom, anything else that's tickling your fancy?
Um, I haven't really gotten super in depth. I had a bunch this morning.
And then do you see some of your calls from April rerunning that retraced a bit?
Yeah, I think Audius is gonna run
Oh,
again.
I like the that project.
This one is. That's Bitcoin.
What's up, Damien?
Um,
Hey, how's it
oh,
going?
Stellar.
Good.
Stellar
Stellar.
looks really good. Yeah, Stellar looks really
Stellar
good.
looks stellar, dude.
And then XTZ also looks good. That's another one. So I'm expecting to come up here and try and guide us liquidity way up here, but not just yet. I think that the TP is still sitting. I mean, for this one though, XTZ, if it does what I think it'll do, it's at least a 2x from where it's at. Um, but Stellar looked really good this morning. YF, what is that? YF die, and then I got YF finance or something like that. Both of those looked good. Let me pull those up. Oh,
Yeah, and for those that want to follow your calls more closely, how do they get involved with you?
a lot of these are actually through Alex actually pays me to provide this information. So
Nice.
I can try and post some on my Twitter. I'll try and do I was thinking about that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and post a couple out there on my
Yeah,
Twitter.
I mean, maybe we can get
People
some
follow.
posts in the alpha chat this week.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right, let's go. Let's go.
yeah. Let me pull the YF. All the YFs are looking really good, and they're basically like farms and stuff right here. Okay, so YFI, and then so here was my expectation. I caught it here, and I said it's going to come all the way back down to trend, which is exactly what it did. And I was expecting it to take off somewhere around this trend. So I think YFI is looking really good for a takeoff. Look at this point of control up here for YFI. Look at all this price activity up here. This
Mm-hmm.
thing's going to come back eventually, and that's a pretty hefty price gain right there from where it sits at right now. That's 74%, 75%. Now, this one right here is a little harder to depict on when this will happen because it's been playing that bottom for a while. This one's looked really good too. So this right here is YF die. So YF die, look at this building pressure on the RSI. We're at the bottom of the building pressure and look at this perfect double bottom, right? But the only problem with YF die is the move's not very high. So your TP is sitting probably around, it's a 23% gain, 24% gain. So if you take your TP at 172 from 139, you're still getting 23, 24%. So it's still a good pick in my eyes.
Perfect.
And then XTZ, obviously, that's one we just talked about. Looks like it's coming back to trend again. This is my TP for XTZ around $4. So it looks like a 25% gain from where it sits. 34% gain from where it sits. So even if it falls back, I'm not really worried. You can see it's followed this uptrend for a while.
Yep.
It's building long. It's gonna make a move eventually, but I'm expecting that move to stay under this current price range around this TP and not break out yet. Because I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna make one more move up, spike, come down, and then the next move is where they'll start building, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that up spike will push them back down to trend, and then this is where they'll start building, I think.
Nice.
So you can pretty much catch a double profit on this one. You take the upside, take out your profit, it comes back down, you re-enter, and then you can take the build up, or if it does it again, obviously take your profit again, and then you're good to go. Wait for the next move. But it's building up. So as
Mm-hmm.
long as these coins are building up, they're looking good for profit taking.
Nice. And around 420 on profit taking is a good spot there.
414. But
Nice.
if you want to be super safe, go 410. Always short yourself. If you set a price in your head like this looks perfect for the support resistance, maybe short yourself a little bit, a couple cents,
Yeah,
to make sure you don't get cut out of the top there.
I like it. That's a lot of action items. That's dope. Dude, it'd be super awesome if you could post some of these screenshots in the TA channel to help facilitate some of these calls. But yeah, let's move over. Damien, you got anything to add? Could be cool to just move over to kind of some news that's happening. and macro stuff. If Damien's still around,
So gone.
he might be AFK.
Yeah. So I mean, we can cover a couple more, but
Yeah, let's do it.
this one looks really bad.
I like that. You gotta call it the bad ones too.
So YGG hit a floor. Now, is it good for price? This is one of those risky plays, right? So this is a guess. You can assume something bad really happened with YGG, and you're probably like, "Well, why would you assume that?" Because look at the way that the strength dropped out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Strength should never drop just like that. Like you could see the strength here was building long, it went long, and then it just fell to the floor. So something happened. I guarantee if I look up YGG, they got hacked or they didn't produce on something they promised. I guarantee there's some kind of FUD. And I'm reading that through the chart without even knowing what's going on with YGG. So this one's a very obvious case, and this one could run deeper, right? So I'm gonna be careful on this one and not really looking at it, even though it's really far away from the POC up here, which is really good. It pretty much broke its building floor. So its strength building is kind of weakened, and I don't really know if that's a point. Now it did double bottom, so that's positive for price action. So it could be worth the risk because upside for this one could be 44%, but I can get 44% off anything. So that's why I'm not really too worried about this one.
I like that. Get 40% off anything.
Now, if you're talking X's, it may be worth it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
no, I feel you.
5, 6X, hey, I'm jumping in. But anything beyond that, not really. So ADA, easy one to play. Where do you think price is coming back to?
Oh man, we see it up there.
Holding the trend, right? And you're probably like, where's that trend going? Where's it coming from? Uh, there you go. Check it out.
That's a
Trend is
say.
your friend.
Trend is your friend. Hancock
So
quotes.
right there,
I like it.
that's where ADA's running right now. So ADA's bottom, roughly sitting right about where it's at, maybe about 89 cents lowest. And then it'll be looking to come back up, capture this liquidity. At some point, I do think they try to come up and get this though.
Yeah.
I do think they try to come up. And that's $2 and what is that? $2.10. So
Yes.
don't expect more, guys. Don't be like, oh, it's going to $5, $10. No, stick with the $2 if it gets there and just get out.
Yep.
Like this is where the price activity is. You're when you start running into price discovery, that doesn't mean up forever. Price discovery could be right here, and then it starts dumping.
Yeah, just remember the last time you watched your cash dump, and that will motivate you to take a profit at a reasonable spot and something to be okay with.
But you can see the price action here. I put it in 2 levels. So really, I could break it into 3. Right? I could say that this is level and this is level right here
Mm-hmm.
where we're at. But I did it more like this to kind of simplify it. Look at where all the price action is. If you were running a bot on ADA, it'd be money all day.
Mm-hmm.
You got your ups, you got your downs, got your ups, downs, and the bot would just be able to play this thing left and right. You could literally set a grid just in the zone and make money all the way across. But I can literally just, if I were running a bot, I'd still be in my zone to make money.
Cool. So yeah, I want to respect your time. We're getting close to, 45 minutes. Like with all those coins and everything that was discussed from fundamentals, but what are action items that you would kind of suggest? Kind of what I've absorbed is like be on the lookout for a bearish week. Take some positions once you start seeing it confirming and consolidating. And if you had to pick three, your top three, that are going to move within this next little bump, if you could put like a buy date or like when it hits this and what they are, that'd be, I think, a huge takeaway from this. All this.
I'd say NIM is probably one of the stronger ones.
Gotcha.
Um, I'm fishing for another pickup in Audius, but I would wait for probably about $65.
Audius, that ticker's audio, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, audio, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
No,
like
no,
that.
this is right. This is right. Hold on. Yes, ticker audio.
Yeah, that's a cool project.
I had it.
I think that really has an explosive moment once music NFTs really find um, the you know a place
Yeah,
in the market.
I think a lot of people's expectations on Audius is just that and I do think this is it can be a competitor to Spotify,
Oh,
but
100%.
they have a thing with Audius to where people have to understand that they have a monthly unlocking that they dump into the ecosystem every month. So there's a vesting schedule that you can follow,
Mm-hmm.
and you can literally dump before they dump and buy after they dump, and you
Wow.
can play their ups and downs doing that. I mean, look at these. So these spikes that you're seeing are like run ups and then dump, and then run ups and then dump, and then run ups and then dump, and that's all that's happening here. That's why you're seeing these huge run up spikes, and then they dump the price back down. So for Audius right now is $1.18, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just basically got crushed. Like I told you, I called it down here, a little bit lower, like dollar five or something like that, like really low. So with that being said, I am expecting Audius to come back up here to this POC, this biggest price
Yep.
activity.
Yep.
So that's at least a 2x right there, or close to a 2x, not but close to a 2x. So that's another one too that I'm looking at. And then I think XLM was the other one we talked about, right? I am XLM looks really good, man.
Yeah. So I have Phantom, Nim, Audio, Stellar, XYZ, YFI, and ADA. XLM.
Yeah. Stellar looks good.
What's Stellar's
Um
ticker again?
so Stellar's ticker is XLM.
Oh, there we go. That explains why I wasn't there. All right.
Yeah, so Stellar right here, even though we kind of fell through our trend here, we're still at not a lower high. So not super bearish on it yet. Can it come back down? Sure. But I would expect if it comes back down, it's coming back down to trend here. The thing is like if I might wait on Stellar, I might see what this move does right here. Because if price moves down, that could be Stellar dropping down to here, right? And that would be a much better price move than where it's at. But I'm expecting them to come up to their POC, which should give them quite a bit of price increase from there. So that's an 84% move.
That's something I'm looking at. I think okay. And then one more that you're feeling. That's a buy coming up here. I'm watching it after this week, trying to find your entry. We got NIM,
Well,
audio, XLM. I guess that's three.
yeah, that's three. I'd say a lot of these are looking kind of like this one.
Mm-hmm.
So they've kind of built, right? And they built up a move, but then they fell through that build up.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, are they going to go like this in a decline wedge?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they just going to continue to go bearish?
Yeah.
So I don't really like to get into these type of plays because they're too questionable. I
Yeah.
typically like to look at the ones that are looking bullish. I just want to throw that out there.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Well, dude, this has been super solid. Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna probably jump into a few of these just with, some a little bit just to have some fun and play this next um little run. But I think all of these, yeah, NIM, audio, and XLM, those are the three. And Audius, especially with the nature of how they operate, that's something you can honestly probably just play for time and time again, just watching their
Mm-hmm.
that's a that's a cool one because I used to release music and stuff. So Audius, that project actually solves a really, really great problem. Well, not a the problem sucks, but it solves it in a really cool way. Oh wow, here we go.
I don't know if they have a chart on here, but I was trying to find the chart. They have a chart for this. Let me go images. It might be under that. Yeah. So this right here is like their vesting schedule circulation thing.
Cool.
So be in here somewhere. There it is. So this right here, as you can see right here, audio circulating supply. See how they keep on getting more and more and more and more and more dumped
Yep.
into the community, investors, team. So this is unlocks and how much will come into circulating supply. So with this applies selling pressure. What that means is for audience, just FYI for those who may not know, and I think this is an important thing to know too. It means that this supply right here will increase, which will actually decrease the price while the market cap could still grow, right? So the market cap could be 1 billion, but the price could still be $1.20. What does that mean? That just means they added more circulation to the supply. So there will be, um, I guess, some slight price suppression on this token, but at the same time, you can still play these vesting schedule dumps because as these guys are getting unlocks, right? As they're getting the investors are getting unlocked, the team gets unlocked, and the founders start getting higher and higher unlocks, you're actually able to wait for them to dump, buy their dump, and then let it run up again the next month and sell before they can sell,
Yep.
before they're unlocked. So this has dates and years and times and all that stuff like that built out. So I definitely say look at this right here and kind of, how the supply works and what all is going on with the supply and what those circulation and price unlocks are. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover for that one.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, man. Put that here.